Howdy folks, I am Caden Jennings. Welcome back, and today we're going flying. We are going flying in the R22. Right now I have about 6 hours in the 22. I'm working on getting my private pilot's license. A lot of you that know my channel currently know that, I snowplow and my lawn care company, and flying is my hobby on the side, so that is literally all this video is going to be about. I am heading into Anchorage right now.
With the pre-flight inspection complete, we're now inside the cockpit going through the startup checklist. Following the checklist isn't just a procedure, it's essential. Every switch, gauge, and control is double-checked to make sure the aircraft is ready to fly. And helicopters missing a single step can be a huge deal, and we don't want to skip a single step. Here, my instructor Scott takes the controls for our initial takeoff. There's a plane waiting to depart off to our right side, hence where I'm sitting. So he performs a sidestep to move us out of their path. It might look smooth, but sidestepping a helicopter requires precise control, and it is a lot harder than it looks. Here's where I take over. We're on the ground, and I try to bring the helicopter into a hover, and well, let's just say it didn't go as planned. You can see Scott's face here getting a little tense. It's kind of funny, but in hindsight, this is part of learning. I hand the controls back to him so he can make the initial radio calls and get us into the pattern of flight. Here, Scott takes back over and does a little left pedal turn and gets us kind of away from the hangar. That way we're clear for takeoff. The airport control tower people were so gracious, they actually let us take off first. There was about 4 planes waiting to go, and awesomely enough, because we're a helicopter and we're so maneuverable, they let us take the first pick and get the heck out of the airport. So here's where we take off. Like I said, the tower gives us priority, so Scott takes off using the highway departure out of Merrillfield in Anchorage. To be honest with you, it's one of my favorite ways to fly out. You feel so free looking down at all the little cars below us, and everybody's on the Glen Highway trying to get out to the valley, and we're just free and no cars in our way. We just get to go 100 miles an hour and fly right out. And I'm just kidding, it's not 100, it's like 80 knots, I guess I should say. Here it gets a little rocky and windy on our takeoff, but nothing out of the ordinary, perfectly safe flying conditions. Now here's where I take the controls. Scott gives me the controls and we're flying straight and level. You'll notice some slow motion if you look at the bottom right of our screen, and you can see the horizon bouncing all around. It's been over a month since I've flown, so I'm definitely quite a bit rusty. My airspeed is all over the place and I'm thinking, yep, we're back, but you see me start to kind of hang on to it here, get us back into a controlled forward flight motion, and Scott's just paying attention to my movements, making sure that I'm not going to put the helicopter in any sort of an unsafe position or anything. So yeah, it is definitely good to be back, I should say. You'll notice here as Scott gets a bit more comfortable with my flight and uncomfortable with my flight, you'll kind of see him move his hand closer, move his hand further away from the stick, just to get us in a safe position. Mind you, this was my first time ever flying with Scott, so he needed to get a good feel of what I was doing and how my typical flight movements are working. At this point in the flight, we're approaching the Birchwood airport. We're about 15 miles out of Anchorage, and we're setting up our downwind pattern, getting ready to come in and do my first ever approach in a helicopter here. At this point in time, you see Scott pointing out the base of the runway, and he walks me through landing prep. You want to check your gauges that all your temperatures are in the green, speed and altitude are steady, your carb heat is pulled, and your fuel levels look correct. This step matters and it ensures a safe and smooth landing. At this point in the flight, we begin our left base turn. Scott tells me to descend to about 400 feet. He mentioned something about 300 on this approach, but I'm not sure I remember exactly what he was saying. Either way, we're descending. I lower the collective, add right pedal, and align the runway numbers with the trim strings. For those who don't know, the trim strings are small strings mounted to the windshield that help you stay coordinated. If they're flying straight back, you're flying clean. If they're not flying straight back, you gotta usually add a little right or a little left pedal to get your helicopter in trim, as they say. You can see I'm just coming in here nice and smooth, trying to be very light on my cyclic movements. Just, you can see how my hand is barely on the cyclic. I'm making sure I'm not inputting too much. Our airspeed is starting to slow down. We're descending more and more into Birchwood Airport. As you can see here, I am definitely locked in. My eyes are straight out and making sure that I'm keeping everything aligned. I kind of peek back in. You can't really see with my sunglasses, but I peek back in to make sure that, you know, our airspeed looks good, we're descending at a reasonable rate, and that I'm pulling back on the cyclic here a little bit to make sure we're coming down a little bit better without increasing our airspeed, because you don't want to come in too fast for a helicopter landing. My first approach here is definitely rocky. Our horizon's moving a lot. The helicopter's not exactly behaving the way I want it to. But for just being 5 hours into flying helicopters, I'm pretty darn proud of it. You see, I kind of try to get myself into a hover here. We're shimmying around quite a bit. But overall, again, not too bad for being 5 hours in. You can see I'm kind of getting better and better, realizing what my pedal movements are doing and how the helicopter's reacting to the way I'm pushing and pulling on the cyclic and everything. I'm just honing in that skill. Right about here is when I start to hold quite a bit better, but it's still nowhere near where I'm about to get here in just a minute or two. You will see. It improves a ton. Here we take off and we get ready for another approach. And I noticed something cool when I'm lifting off here. You'll kind of see the back end of the helicopter lift up. It's kind of a cushion of air that's behind the helicopter, making it tilt backwards. It's kind of tricky to compensate for, but it's one of those little quirks that you learn to feel over time. Here I'm starting my left base turn back into the pattern. For those unfamiliar with downwind and upwind, downwind means flying parallel to the runway, meaning the opposite direction of the current landing pattern. Upwind is after takeoff, flying away from the runway. I'll try and pop some visuals on screen here if I can, just to show what I mean and how to explain this. But right about here, we enter into our second left base turn, come in for a second approach. We're just really putting in the reps to kind of get the feel down on everything, and you can already see like my turn, my approach is twice as good. The horizon's a little bit more calm. The helicopter isn't bouncing all over the place. It's just a whole heck of a lot smoother here. As a helicopter pilot, I will never get over that amazing blade slap sound. I freaking love it. You can see I'm still shimmying around the place quite a bit, but it is way more smooth than the first one. Scott and I talked about it. In the next video, I hope to have a little bit more audio for you guys. That way you can hear what Scott and I are talking about, and I'll be really excited for that. Anyways, here's where Scott takes the controls and he sidesteps us over to the gravel pit where I do some hover training. You'll notice I'm flexing my hand and all that just to kind of get the shimmies out, I call them. These are what I call my helicopter muscles. Holding the cyclic takes major forearm strength. Try it sometime. It's like hitting a Planet Fitness at 2 a.m. when you have that I just woke up strength. But anyways, it's time to dial in some hovering. We start off rough, just watch. I mean, you can see me just kind of all over the place. And here after a few seconds, we just kind of hone it in. And here's where I start my pendulum effect, and I can't move the pedals the right way, and I'm not sure what does what. But again, only 5 hours in, so I can't complain. Here I give Scott the controls, and he kind of just goes and centers us back over to the center of our little hovering area we've got set up. A lot of this video is about hovering. You'll see me here. I'm just trying to hone it in. I edited out probably 40 minutes of hovering from this video, so just stay strapped in your seat. If you want to skip forward, there should be time segments in the comments there, or in the description, so feel free to jump around if you want to, but this is just kind of me practicing hovering, so feel free to enjoy. Now here at this point, this is where it starts to click. I'm getting more and more precise, smoother on the controls, and I'm actually starting to hover. This feels freaking amazing. I can't explain the feeling, but it's just the best. There's like nothing better than being able to hover a helicopter and just feel like, oh my gosh, I can actually control this beast that's trying to tear itself apart. Again, you can see I'm just doing 10 times better. Holding the helicopter. You can see Scott's hand moving, up with the cyclic, but he's just trying to make sure that, we're not going to put a skid into the ground and flip over and ruin a $250,000 helicopter. So this is so much fun though, guys. I can't explain it enough. It is so much fun to go fly a helicopter, and if you ever get the opportunity, you have to do it. Just do it, because whether you like it or you don't, you will have a fun time the first time. Here's where I'm learning that relaxation is key. When I stop flying the helicopter, or stop fighting the helicopter, and I just fly it, things get way easier. Tension just honestly makes it worse. If you can just kind of plant your butt in the seat and let go almost, but don't let go, do not let go. But if you can just kind of relax and let the helicopter just wrap around you and you just feel it, you're not going to be as tense on the controls, the movements get smoother, etc., etc. Just try and relax up on the controls when you're doing this kind of stuff. Hovering takes serious finesse. You're working 3 controls constantly, and your brain has to process all of it in real time. It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head while balancing on a yoga ball in a wind tunnel. That's like a perfect way of explaining it, but once you get it down, it just happens. It's kind of like driving a car. You know, when you first start driving at 16, your turns are really shitty, but you start to kind of pull it all together after some time and experience, and pretty soon you can match the pedal to the steering and your brake and all that kind of stuff, and after a year it becomes second nature. You don't even have to think about it, and that's what really happens with the helicopter. Scott did explain something really interesting to me in this flight that I didn't really understand until he showed me, but when you're flying a helicopter and you push left pedal takes a lot more power than the right pedal because the helicopter is counteracting. So when you apply right pedal, you barely have to give it any right pedal. But when you apply left pedal, you have to apply a lot more in order to get the helicopter to spin the other direction. Now we're back to cruise flight. We're gonna head up to the Eagle River Valley. The goal is now to practice smooth base turns while holding steady speed and altitude. It sounds easy, but honestly, it's not that easy. You have to make sure that you're maintaining the proper pitch and yaw of the helicopter, I guess. It's a little bit different in a helicopter, but with the cyclic, you have to make sure you're turning enough, but also not pushing forward too much or pulling back too much, because if you pull back too much, you'll lose speed and gain altitude, and if you push forward too much, you'll gain speed and lose altitude. So it's kind of a serious finesse that you've got to learn how to do. Now in this next part, this is really, really fun. We set up for an off-airport approach, kind of just in the middle of the woods. Most helicopter operations in Alaska, it really just happens off-airport. So learning to land around obstacles, uneven terrain, trees, it's honestly crucial if you're gonna fly in Alaska. You also have to learn how to auto-rotate in these places, which is even more terrifying. But anyways, learning to land around these obstacles is super duper important up here. So if you ever get a chance to fly in Alaska, definitely ask to go do some off-airport landings, takeoffs, etc. Now finally, we're pretty much done flying. We're heading back to Merrill-Field, aka PAMR, and Scott and I just start to talk about helicopters, our love for helicopters. I tell him quite a bit about Cletus McFarland and his MD-500, and how he helped all of those hurricane victims get supplies, and he helped a lot of people, get out, pregnant people, etc. It's a reminder of how valuable helicopters really are, especially in hard-to-reach areas. Some crazy landing zones that Cletus put his helicopter into. But anyways, well, that's the end of our flight here. We finished the flight with the shutdown checklist. This is just as important as the startup checklist and your pre-flight checklist. A smooth shutdown ensures the health of your helicopter, things like cooling down your engine, powering off in the right sequence. It's really just good to take care of your machine when you're doing this. Fly hard, but treat your aircraft right.
Alright guys, well that was so much fun. As you saw there, that was my new instructor. His name's Scott over at Alaska Helicopters. He is so awesome. I actually clicked up really good on hovering today. I'm gonna do a lot of voiceover over that since I wasn't able to have my mic set up and everything. But hopefully here in the near future when I start doing some more flying, I'll have my own headset with a recording feature and whatnot. But yeah, overall, really good flight. I really picked up my hovering skills and my approaches were awesome. I mean, impeccable. I got a 2 out of 4 on my hovering and approaches skills, which is 50% proficient, which is actually, I'm only at 5.8 hours, so it's really proficient in the helicopter world. I'm really proud of myself. I'm really happy and super excited. Not super excited when I see the bill, but that's just the name of the game and how it works. So yeah, on my way back out to the valley, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna just cut it up, put some voiceover in, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and stay tuned for future normal videos, helicopter videos, lawn care videos, all the above. So anyways guys, see ya.